So first off, I want to let you guys know that I will be bringing back out my camera for these videos. Right now, currently, I don't have a tripod. I wasn't able to bring it in my luggage when I came to Japan, and so I'm probably going to be looking to investing in another tripod here very, very soon. But pushing that to a side, I want to talk about the fights that I just saw. So I wanted to start off with Jan's victory over Andrade. First of all, I want to say that that was one heck of a performance. Jan's striking was crisp, and there's one thing that stood out with that finish. As I sit here and I think about it, Andrade has this problem, or had this problem. We'll just talk about this specific fight. She had this problem of leading, of pretty much following Jan even when she was going back, and what makes a really good striker is one who can fight going forward and backwards. Now, Jan, she threatened it a couple times, especially as Andrade. She does this thing of when she's following, she's leading with multiple hooks. What that does is it allows a person who's decent to good at striking to be able to time that. They can kind of time, okay, 1, 2, and then they can plant and then go over with a cross. And so that's exactly what she did. She was able to kind of lead Andrade, lead her forward, and then plant the foot, and then boom, that's it. We see it all the time. You saw it with, it reminded me of when Stipe did it to Verdum. Verdum was kind of leaning forward, kind of following Stipe, and Stipe kind of just bink. I don't even think Stipe got the chance to really even plant his foot. He kind of just leaned and just kind of caught him as he was coming in. And that is something that is a terrible thing to do. That's like striking 101. Don't ever follow a person in a straight line. Cut off the ring, cut off the octagon, but never follow that person. At the very least, let up on your approach, because it allows a striker to time you and, like I said before, plant their feet and catch you when you're not expecting it. And that's exactly what happened. Jan, she capitalized on that fact, and it's one of those things that I think is a bad habit for a lot of fighters. Especially in the UFC, they do this thing of following, and Andrade has a really bad habit of following with like looping hooks, and that just opens the door for a lot of possibilities of getting caught. And so, crisp striking. I would like to see her fight for the title in the very near future. Do I think that she could get the next title shot? I do. I think that there's a good chance. Now, going into the main event, I had, at the end of Cejudo and Sterling, I had Sterling winning 3-2. Now, I was also watching this with my brother, and I think he had it 3-2 as well. But it was one of those things where if they gave it to Cejudo, I wouldn't have been upset. Right, and like I said in a past video, that the judges have been doing a terrible job when it comes to certain fights, but I think for the most part they got this one right. If we're looking at the first round, I think I gave that to Aljo. If second round, I think I gave that to Cejudo. The third and fourth round were kind of toss-ups. I did happen to give one of those to Cejudo, and I think one of them to Aljo. But then the last round, now, that was a big round. I think Cejudo finished off the fight really well. I think he finished off, really setting a pace, getting that takedown, trying to, seal the deal. And I know a lot of people thought that Cejudo did enough to win, but here's why I don't think Cejudo won. Because of the in-betweens, right? I think Aljamain did a much better job at striking when necessary. When they were in the clinch, when they were scrambling, Aljamain got off some really good shots. He got off, I remember there was a knee, or right in after the clinch. He got off some good shots as Cejudo was getting up from scrambles. And so it was the in-betweens for me that led Aljamain to winning, but still a very competitive match. Cejudo is kind of battling with the fact of retirement. I did watch the post-fight, and it felt like as that post-fight interview was happening, he was starting to relax a little bit, and he was starting to get comfortable with the idea of having another fight. I know he was also talking about the fact that he has, another child on the way, and I do believe that does play a factor. Understandably, that plays a factor. And so, would I like to see Cejudo come back? Yeah. But would I be confused if Cejudo didn't come back? No, because he's a family guy too, just as much as he is a competitor, and so I would understand his decision. Now let's talk about a little bit of the post-fight. Right after the fight, do I think Sean O'Malley is a good matchup against Aljo? If I have to give a quick review on that fight, I believe Aljo would probably win that. I think that, despite Sean O'Malley's ability to strike, and I think he's one of the better strikers in that division, probably the best striker in that division currently. I think that Aljamain's ability to do all the in-betweens, I think in the clinch, he's going to be able to really make his mark. I think he has a strong possibility of submitting Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley does have that route of beating him by tagging him and knocking him out. But if we're talking about who has more opportunity to win with that matchup, I believe it's Aljo. I think he has more options. There's more ways of him winning in that fight. And so that's my recap, you guys. It was a bomb night of fights. I think the one that was probably the most lackluster was probably the Gilbert Burns and Bilal Muhammad fight. But at the same time, I still think that was a solid fight, despite the fact of Gilbert Burns tearing his shoulder. And I think, just an all-around really, really nice night of fights. And so I'm excited to see how all of this unfolds. Comment down below what you guys think about, the Aljamain and Cejudo fight. Who do you think won that fight? Who did you have winning that fight? And what do you see next as far as what should happen in that division, in that 135 division that's pretty competitive right now? So comment down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.